Hey everybody, welcome back to Auto Scholar with Mr. B. I'm Mr. B, and today I have something to show you guys. It's our brand new project. This is a 2010 Volkswagen Touareg TDI 3-liter engine SUV that I purchased a couple of months ago. And when I bought it from a friend of mine who bought it from an estate sale, and came with a title and clean title and everything, but it did not come with a key. They could not find the key, and the owner had passed away. And so I basically got it towed here on a flatbed, and we put skates on it and pushed it into the shop. The steering wheel was locked. I didn't even have a key to unlock the steering wheel or anything like that. So, and I was just checking it out and did an inspection on it. Didn't even know how many miles were on it when I bought it. I pretty much bought this sight unseen, and I paid $1,500 for this car, which I thought was a pretty good deal, because even if, you know, everything was bad on this car, I figured I could get that at least out of parts, or even maybe even more. So I went ahead and paid my buddy the money for it, got it here. I stuck a battery in it, and I put a pyrotechnic fuse in it, and because it had blown because the airbags had deployed, and the immobilizer was locked up on the car. So I went and got a key, and I thought maybe with a factory cut key, even if it not being programmed, it would unlock the steering wheel. Unfortunately, on this vehicle, it doesn't. So once that immobilizer thinks that the car is being stolen, it locks up, and it locks up hard. So I kind of put the car outside, and I was trying to decide what to do with it. You know, I didn't know if I wanted to stick the money in it. I didn't even know if the engine was good, because the intercooler was busted on it. So even if I had the key, I couldn't crank it up and run it, because it's not going to run without an intercooler on it. So I, put it outside. I got really busy. We're getting a new facility here, and so I've had to do a lot of work with that. And I decided, well, let's go ahead and just see if we can get the key programmed. I ordered a intercooler, installed the intercooler on it, and we got a key. I got my buddy from Volkswagen to come to my shop and program the key for me, and it runs, and it runs really good. And I found out it only has 105,000 miles on it, which is very low miles for a 2010. And of course, being a diesel, these things will run forever. So this car's got plenty of life left in it, and it would be a real shame if we scrap this vehicle. So I am going to go ahead and restore this vehicle back to original condition, and I'm gonna bring you along for the ride. So I'm gonna give you a walk around and kind of show you what I've initially found is wrong with the vehicle. And of course, everything that's wrong with this vehicle will be represented in a video on this channel. So if you have a wrecked Touareg or something, and you're going about fixing it, and maybe you have the same situation I'm in, you'll kind of know where you're going. Or if you're replacing a bumper or whatever, you'll kind of be able to use those videos to give you a better understanding of this vehicle and what happens to it when it gets in an accident. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the camera off the tripod, and I'll give you a walk around of our brand new Touareg. Okay, so coming from the back, pretty much anything from the front doors back is in fairly good shape. Got a couple little dents and dings here and there. And of course, it is really dirty. I would have washed it, except I've got another issue with it, which we'll talk about here when I get on that side. But brand new Yokohama tires on it. Doesn't look like you have many miles on it here. And like I said, there's just a bunch of stuff in here from the previous owner and parts that are just kind of falling off the car. And but the interior itself looks like it's in fairly good shape. It's just dirty, which we know how to clean those up nicely. So going to the front, again, just kind of filthy, overall filthy. And we have a windshield that's busted right here. I don't know if somebody's head hit that. That looks like a head-sized dent in here, but if so, that's definitely a lesson to wear your seatbelt when you're in here. Of course, we have an airbag that is popped, and I do have like this right here that is broken, the shift sensor here, and the mirror switch, which again will get their own videos, and it's got a smell to it, because this window right here has a bad regulator in it, and it's been down. Now, I've put a trash bag in here when I got the vehicle, but, I guess beforehand, there has been some water intrusion in the vehicle, And so I don't see any water damage to the electronics or anything like that. You can tell it's been rained in a little bit, and it's got that funky smell. We'll get that out with the ozone machine and a good cleaning and clean the carpets. So, of course, the biggest damage is going to be to the front. And when I got it, the bumper was hanging off. So I just went ahead and disconnected the bumper because it was going to get caught under the car when we drove it, when we got it running. And the car was hit in this area right here. It pushed all this in. The headlight was hanging out by the harness here. And of course, this intercooler, that's what it looked like there. So it definitely wasn't going to work with the car running. Got a horn damaged right here, knocked the bell off the horn. So we're going to have to do a lot of reconstruction. However, the only metal damage on this car is right here on the hood. So these hoods right here, because this was a facelift model, you'll see it as a facelift model by, you can tell there's a little bend right here to the headlight. They only made this front end a couple of years, and so the parts are kind of expensive. However, the hood is the same hood they've always used all the way to the first year they've made one. And there's a first generation, I think it's a 05 or 06 Touareg in my junkyard, my local junkyard. So I'm going to get some students to go down there and snatch the hood if it's still good. And then, of course, we're going to have to get all of this painted. So it's going to need a radiator support. It also has a bracket for these AC lines down in here that is bent. I'm going to have to get that either from the dealer or from a junkyard, depending on what years they fit. But other than that, parking sensors as well. So this has the parking sensors, and 3 of the parking sensors are visibly damaged. I don't know about the 4th, but I'll probably just buy all 4 to put back into the bumper. And then, of course, we'll have to color match the bumper. And these fenders right here are not metal. They are plastic or fiberglass. I've heard either or. Look kind of like they're resin covered fiberglass. And of course, this is busted. You know, it's one of those things where we're going to have to get one and get it painted and put on. And of course, you know, with the windshield, get that put on. The airbag sensor is going to have to be replaced. That sits right here. Of course, the headlight, I'll probably go ahead and get both headlights because this one's kind of nasty looking. And it's going to look funny if it's got a brand new headlight over here. And there's probably half a dozen little brackets and things that mount on this side that are going to have to be replaced as well. And that's kind of the tough spot about fixing cars with collision damage, is you really don't know, unless you have another car that's sitting right beside it, you really don't know everything that's broken until you get into it. And that's what makes estimating this damage like this very difficult and a highly desirable skill to body shops. Now, I looked into the suspension and nothing is visibly bent or broken. So I'm definitely going to put it on our alignment machines that we have over there. But other than that, it looks like it has good bones. Nothing in the cage was hurt. The radiator looks good. It's going to need another radiator support, of course, because this whole side is out. And that's what would be holding up this intercooler here. And it's got some things that are tweaked in there that we'll have to kind of play with and get aligned correctly, but I don't think it's anything outside of my ability. And I think it'll make a nice car when we get it back right. Now, I just took it for a drive, and literally every light that can be on is on. So we're going to go ahead and grab the scan tool, and we're going to check and see what codes there are. And that'll kind of give you an idea of what systems are working and what systems aren't. Okay, so here is the readout from my Snap-on Zeus scan tool, which honestly is not a great scan tool for European cars, but it's kind of the only thing I have at the moment that has this big screen that y'all can see. So I've got 8 engine codes. Most of them are from exhaust gas temperature sensor, so I don't know if we got a problem there, or maybe if we've just got some supply voltage issues because of the low battery or because of the crash itself. I haven't deleted any of these. So going down to the transmission, of course we got crash shutdown here for that as well. So transmission, Tiptronic switch, not a plausible signal. That's a common issue on these. It's the Tiptronic switch and the shifter that's bad. Engine control module, no signal or no communication. That could be because of low voltage brake electronics, we've got all kinds of no communication, supply voltage stuff. Again, that can be battery or from the crash. I'm not sure. I'm just gonna have to delete everything and kind of go through all this. But airbag here, supply voltage B plus, lower limit reached, crash data. Of course, when you have this, you're gonna have to remove the ABS module and replace it or get it reset by a module programmer. Crash data for belt tensioner storage, so we may have to put another seat belt in here because of that. Instrument cluster, communication issues, stuff like that. Data interface, so we've got some communication issues. Four-wheel drive, no communications. It's just all low voltage stuff, but tire pressure warning, so it came in with a flat tire. That could be something like that. So again, this is just a hodgepodge of probably 30 or 40 codes that we're going to have to go through and delete, see if they come back. I'm going to record all this before I delete them, just to make sure that I have a good record of what this came in with, and we'll have to go from there. But again, the car is running, driving, it's shifting. I took it out for a ride here this afternoon. Air conditioning's working. So the major systems are operational. I do have a window regulator that I'm going to go ahead and replace. I'm probably going to do that first. That way I can store the vehicle outside, because right now I don't want to with the window being down. And I do have a power seat problem on the driver's side where it won't slide back and forth. So that could be a switch or a motor issue. I'm going to diagnose that. Again, you'll have a video for all this stuff. So if you have any of these issues, please come back to the channel. It's going to be a slow trickle from here. This is just going to be the first video. But it may, if it interests you, please, of course, subscribe to the channel. So let's talk about costs. Okay, so I have looked into the costs of the parts, just some of the parts that I definitely know I need. So, the front end pieces, the airbag pieces, and window regulator, stuff like that. And just to give you where I'm at in the car right now with towing, with paying my buddy to come out and program with a key for a battery, all this stuff that I had to put on the car just to get it to the position where it's at now, intercooler, stuff like that, I'm in about $2,200 with the purchase of the car and all those parts. So I'm actually, with this vehicle, if none of this had happened and it was in good condition with the miles that are on this car, they're selling anywhere in my area for $10,000 to $15,000. I've seen a couple for like $7,000 or $8,000, but there were way more miles than this. And I've seen, some of the $15,000 ones only have 60, 70, 80,000 miles. So we're kind of in the middle of that. So I'm thinking probably fair market value for this is anywhere from 10 to 12,000. And we're in for 22. So we've got a lot of room to play with if we're planning to keep this vehicle for ourselves. If we are planning to flip this vehicle or something like that, we may be getting on the edge of not making the profit versus the time that it's going to take to make this vehicle right. But again, I bought this vehicle kind of to help a friend out, but also to provide more content for the channel and more projects for my students here. So if I just break even at the end, I'm okay. So I think I'm going to go forward with the repair, at least to the paint stage, because painting is something I'm going to have to pay somebody to do. And this color is going to be very hard to match. So I may just put it all together, get it back running, driving 100% condition, and put the body panels on, and then just let somebody take over from there. I have a couple people already interested in this vehicle, and I may talk to them about that option as well. So we'll see kind of how that goes. And so when I get deeper into this, I'm going to give a cost analysis of what I spent and where it went. And, if you have an issue like this, and you're trying to fix it yourself, it may be a harder decision than I have because I can do this stuff myself. But I'm thinking right now, if this was being handled by insurance, they probably would have totaled this vehicle just simply because they're having to use brand new parts and things like that we can get away by using salvage parts and doing the work ourselves. So this would probably go over the 50% mark for value and would deem the car a total loss. A lot of people, they have these vehicles, they get in accidents, insurance are covering it, they'll cut them a check and they'll keep the car and they'll try to fix it themselves. So this video, of course, is for you as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start adding some stuff up. I'm going to get some parts ordered. We'll come back to the channel, and first thing I'm going to do is probably the window regulator so we can go ahead and store the car outside. So look for a video for that next. And if you have any questions, please, or any advice, please leave them in the comments and I'll be sure to get back to you. So if you like the video, of course, subscribe to the channel for more stuff like this. And you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and BK. Just look for Auto Scholar Mr. B or Master Tech Mr. B. And I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up for the weekend and head home. And we'll see you next time on Auto Scholar with Mr. B.